Hello, dear students. As I have already told you that now we have to look at the different things from your text, from your textbooks, different lessons, different themes in the lessons from various angles. And in the last lesson before this, we saw of and now we saw whether people would have gathered in that way and would have done the same things, and M. Hamel would have shown the same sentiment if he would have been retiring after doing his full tenure as a teacher at that school in Alsace. Now, let us look at of the other thing. This is what things, what changes of in the attitudes of Franz we notice. Then we notice that of when he heard that French should be taught no more. The books of French that before that time appeared like burden to him. Like burden. Those books at once became his very close friends. He developed a loving feeling unto those books. Which were those books? Grammar books and the books about the saints in France. So this change took place. And he also felt that his freedom was lost because his country, his Alsace, his district had fallen a victim to the Prussians, and he took German as an imposition upon him. And we find that he says, would that teach the pigeons to go in German? Means the pigeons were still crying in their own way. But since Franz was a human being, his language, French, was being suppressed, and the winners were imposing their language, that was German, upon them. So these two things we have noticed, we also find that she developed a feeling of greater regard for his teacher. Formerly, he did not have the same regard. Of course, he liked his teacher, he loved his teacher, and he also loved his school. We see that even though he was knowing nothing, at the place of whiling away his daytime, morning time rather, listening to the cries of the birds and watching and enjoying watching the gardens, woods, enjoying the air in the woods, and looking at the drilling soldiers. At the place of all these things, there was a magnificent air, and there were several things to charm, attract him, and keep him away from school. But he rushed towards school. In spite of the thing that, in spite of the fact that he knew that he would be scolded by M. Hamel, and he was being late also, so he was still more frightened. But in spite of all that, he chose to go to school. So we can't say that he disliked the school. No, he liked the school. But this, his love for his teacher, he liked his teacher even before that. But his love for his teacher at once increased when he came to know that uh, he would be there no more, that there won't be any more teaching. Now, friends, there. Now, after all this, uh, we have, dear students, now you say he saw that he was able to understand whatever uh, M. Hamel was teaching that day. This was because M. Hamel was explaining everything very well at length. And he also listened to the things very carefully. So we find that here the writer gives a clue of learning things properly. Two things are required. First, the student should listen carefully, and the other, the teacher should have patience to explain all the things. If the teacher explains the things properly and the students listen to the thing carefully, the things can be easily understood. So, dear students, these are the things, these are the changes that he felt, and this is all that came in the mind of Franz that day. Now, take care of the things and look at the story from various viewpoints.